Welcome to Orange Grove 55.
Right, no, 100%. Now, Dre, from what I understand, you have a clip from Fresh Baked, and Fresh Baked, Dave asks a very interesting question in regards to the return of the People Mover, and I think I actually have an answer for Dave. So we're gonna go ahead and play that clip.
Absolutely.
And then I'll answer it because I think I know why. I know the why of what he's asking, basically. So I'll go ahead and share his screen.
I'll go ahead and share my screen right now. This is also interesting too because, as George brings up, astutely, yes, I have heard the Buzz Lightyear tie-in and stuff like that. With the dome, the famous dome being featured in the film. I think that might have just been a reference, but to your point, they might have had larger plans for Tomorrowland that may have involved Lightyear at some point. And maybe, the Lightyear tie-in, maybe it gets kicked out, but maybe Peoplemover was always part of the plan. And now we're seeing that here. But, OG, this is one of your best points, and we'll go ahead and lead it in with Fresh Bake's clip right here.
Here we go. Let's play it.
If there really was a way to bring back the Peoplemover, why haven't they done it already? Why would they wait 20 years when they know how badly everybody wants it? It's one of the most universally desired, demanded, requested things for Disneyland. You talk about, ask anybody, what ride do you want to come back? Almost everybody says the Peoplemover.
Everybody says the Peoplemover.
Yeah, everyone says the Peoplemover. So why bring it back now? Like Dave says, 20 plus years later, why bring it back now? And I'll tell you exactly why. Or at least my speculation. And I think I might be onto something here. The whenever you look at like Disney parks, right? What do they spend the money on? It's the stuff that's like the direct money makers. So there's a reason why for like Pixar Pier, Lamplight Lounge is like the nicest thing on the whole pier because it's a bar. It's a direct revenue stream. Of course, it'd be like the nicest thing there because it makes Disney a lot of money. Okay, same goes for like the hotels. These are direct revenue streams for Disney. So they pump a lot of money into those hotels because, well, it's very profitable. Well, Dave from Fresh Bake was asking, why the Peoplemover now? Well, I made a video a year ago, link up above, about how this whole thing with Genie Plus and Lightning Lane might be a good thing for attractions. And it might be a good thing because now you're monetizing attractions. Now, these attractions have become revenue streams for the company, just like a bar would be, just like a hotel would be. So when Dave says, well, why now? Why after 20 plus years? Why now? Because now they can open up the Peoplemover and they can charge you Lightning Lane. Now they can make money off of the Peoplemover like they've never made money before. That's why now. That's why. They know. Disney absolutely knows that the Peoplemover is a beloved attraction. They know that the Magic Key holders would climb over each other to ride this thing. And if you add that, if you bring that back and if you have like a Lightning Lane option to that, like a Rise of the Resistance kind of thing, where it's an a la carte or something like that. Oh, it would be buco bucks for Disney. So that's why Disney wants to make this attraction come back, is because it's going to make them a lot of money. It's potentially a huge moneymaker for them. That's my theory on it as to why it took them so long. But Dre, what do you think about that theory about the monetization of these attractions is kind of changing the calculus in regards to this stuff? And, look, 10 years ago, Disney couldn't make a direct, you couldn't get direct money from a ride like the Peoplemover. Now they can through this Lightning Lane Genie Plus program. Do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that's an angle that maybe Chapek and Damaro is kind of using here as justification to bring this attraction back?
I think it's a very, very good theory, honestly. I think that kind of plays into why they might be doing this, really, and why the calculus may have changed. Because everybody has to understand here, folks. This is going to take a lot of money. This is not going to be a small project. This is going to be a very, very large one. And this goes all the way back to, at the time when, the Rocket Rods was supposed to get a sponsor, right? It was supposed to get a sponsor for the making of the tracks. And because they didn't actually end up getting a sponsor, and a lot of that has to do with Epcot and Test Track and the problems that it had there, and how it pushed back the opening date on that, and how GM was supposed to do both Rocket Rods and Test Track, but unfortunately, because of the problems that Test Track was receiving, they had to drop all the, they had a lot of marketing and cross promotion with that, had to drop all that, had to wait a year for that, and they dropped out of the Rocket Rods as a result of those delays, right? And because they didn't actually bank those tracks, those Rocket Rod vehicles had to stop, start, had to go through so many tires as a result. The computer systems couldn't keep track, which is why that, this is back in 1997, folks. So you had to forgive the computer systems back then, but couldn't keep track of the constant start and stops themselves. And upon further analysis, I think in September of 2000, they figured out that this attraction's been open for 2 years, and it did significant damage to the existing track. So all that track has to be completely replaced.
Right.
All of it. And the problem that you get with that is it's not just the track, it's also the internal elements between, within buildings. And those buildings are grandfathered in their code, and it would heavily impact those attractions that it actually crisscrosses, inside of. And unfortunately, it just wasn't feasible before. It was going to be a significant amount of investment for an attraction that's kind of on the border between niche and very popular. Like, it's right there, And unfortunately, back at that time, it just wasn't going to book vacation packages and wasn't going to be the huge draw, probably, that, people may have envisioned it was going to be, but it just the math didn't quite make sense, unfortunately. But now, as you bring out, OG, things have changed in two big ways. One is direct ROI. It's direct return on investment, direct revenue generation. If you put Genie Plus on this thing, or hey, you want to do boarding passes and Lightning Lane initially, then go to a Genie Plus model later on. Now you're talking $20 a head. That definitely looks like a different equation just off the bat. And as we have kind of understood Imagineering for like the last 10 years, it's been whenever you build something, that ROI has to be within 5 years. And maybe that right there has changed the equation, that you can directly monetize these attractions. The other thing too is Park Pass, obviously, right? So it's a very supply limited business, and your supply is limited by how many attractions you actually have in your various park. Well, back in the day, Peoplemover used to do 5,000 people an hour easily. And that might with that amount of capacity, you might be able to bump up the entire park as a result. So that could maybe potentially let more people in. You could make more revenue off per person, right? With more people being in the park, and you might have direct revenue coming back. This looks like a win-win-win all the way around with these new factors coming into play here.
No, 100%. And on top of the whole thing, it's a PR win for Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek is looking for a PR win right now. Look, I'm very fair to Bob Chapek, but Bobby, come on. Your PR game is crap, bro. Okay. You need to get on that D23 stage and announce something big like a Peoplemover to really win back some fans. Look, there's a portion of the fandom that will never embrace Bob Chapek. But I think if you were to get on that D23 stage and say, hey, the Peoplemover's coming back, and I'm the one who brought it back to you. It wasn't Bob Iger. No. It was me. It was Bobby Chapek. I brought it back. That would ingratiate, I think, him with a lot of fans. Now, George, what are your thoughts on this? That the reasoning behind the Peoplemover coming back might be the monetization of these attractions like Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, and what have you.
I do agree with you. I think it's a great opportunity for Disney to cash that dollar in, so to speak, by utilizing the Peoplemover in that manner, because they have the sources to do so now. But kind of going back to what I was saying before, I also feel like this is the appropriate time that if we are to get a Tomorrowland overhaul, what better way to then add the Peoplemover as not just the Peoplemover by itself, but as a whole of Tomorrowland, so we may be getting a different variation of what the Peoplemover, we could be surmising, okay, they're going to bring back the Peoplemover. Well, they may, but it may be in a whole completely different technological system of what the new Tomorrowland would be. Because as Vash had mentioned, this is going to be a steep project. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be time consuming. And let's face it, it's going to take up a lot of room that they would have to block off for Tomorrowland. So if they're willing to do that, I personally feel like rather than just say on the expo stage, oh, we're bringing back the People Mover, well, it's like we're bringing you a whole entire new Tomorrowland with the People Mover included.
There you go. That's a mic drop right there. That's a mic drop moment. and they need to do it. I mean, I think that would really, really change some hearts and minds in regards to this current management team. I think that would really, really make a big difference.